Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we're going to continue Amictus, the Bug Queen. How you all doing today? Hope you're doing well. And let's get this reading started. Chapter 6, Birth of a New Enemy. There was a hiss as an arrow arched through the air, sailing towards Amictus. But as the arrowhead homed in, the giant beast leaped aside. She moved so fast that Tom saw nothing more than a green blur rushing through the jungle, straight towards Elena. Tom cried. The beast had darted behind the tree where Elena was crouched. Tom broke into a run and arrived beside the tree in time to see Amictus swipe at Elena's quiver, scattering arrows to the ground. Elena froze, gazing up into the beast's face. Amictus reared above her, a huge barbed claw around, ready to slice her in two. Here's Amictus about to slice Elena. The art in this is so good. I love it. Tom raced forwards and snatched Elena's wrist, pulling her with him as they rolled across the jungle floor. Amictus's claws cleaved the air and sank into the tree trunk, embedding itself deeply. With a screech of frustration that echoed off the trees, Amictus pulled at her claw, but it was stuck tight. With a ripple of muscle, she tugged again, and her claw came free of the tree trunk, leaving a gash in the wood. That could have been me, Elena whispered faintly. Tom looked around desperately. He spotted a low, dense bush that was covered with plump red berries and flowers. Perfect, he muttered. Looking back at Elena, he could see his friend was transfixed, watching Amictus scuttle back to check on her eggs. Come on, he said, giving a click of his tongue to call their animal friends over. Tom ran towards the bush, stooping low to stay hidden. He pushed aside a bunch of berries and stepped between the branches. Amictus won't spot you here, he said as Silver crawled in beside Elena, beyond the bush. Storm stood obediently behind a tree, understanding the need to stay hidden. You hide here with Storm and Silver, and be my backup, he told Elena. But you can't fight Amictus alone, said Elena, frowning. Excuse me. If you hide, she'll have to focus her battle just on me, which leaves you free for a surprise attack, said Tom. You've seen how fast the beast moves. She could kill us both in an instant if we're not careful. I understand, Elena said, kneeling beside Silver. Just be careful. Tom gave a grim smile. I will. He unhooked his shield and handed it over. If Amictus attacks, defend yourself with this. Tom took a deep breath and crawled back out. Amictus was still bent over the eggs. Tom stood still and waited for his body to become invisible. He watched as the beast sniffed the air and then straightened up, towering over the smaller trees. Her armored body glistened in the sunlight, and her long muscular limbs looked as though they could snap his body in two. Her giant head moved from one side to the other, scanning the trees. She's trying to pick up my scent, he thought. He forced himself to stay still. It was a struggle to keep his breathing slow. A muscle in his thigh began twitching with nerves, and he clamped a hand to his leg to control the tremors. Even that small movement made his body appear in a smudged outline for a moment. Thankfully, Amictus didn't spot him. The beast began striding through the jungle, her huge limbs easily passing over bushes and shrubs. Now that she was close, Tom could see the hundreds of tiny barbs that lined her claws. Her skin shone brightly. One of her claws glowed an especially vibrant green. That's what's keeping her enchanted, Tom thought. The green glow was the taint of Valmel, the sign of his curse on the beasts. Amictus leaped into a clear patch of jungle floor in front of Tom. Don't move, he told himself. Don't give yourself away. He waited and watched. Finally, Amictus looked over her shoulder. Tom only had moments to act. It was time to abandon his invisibility. Time to move. He unsheathed his sword with a sound that whispered through the trees. As Amictus's head whipped around and dipped low, Tom raised his sword and brought the hilts crashing into the side of her head. Amictus's body crashed to the ground, her legs twitching and quivering. Tom had to leap out of the way as her barbed, prickly limbs kicked out. Slowly, the tremors subsided, and Amictus's eyes closed. Tom hesitated, then took a step closer, peering into the beast's face. Have I knocked her out? He wondered. Or worse. A leg darted out, and the barbed spikes sank into Tom's calf. He cried out with pain and pulled away, but not before the spikes had torn his flesh. The beast hadn't been hurt at all. The beast hadn't been hurt at all. She had been faking it. Amictus leaped to her feet with a sudden movement. Her chest expanded as she leaped back, craning her head to the sky to let out a roar of anger. At the same time, another sound echoed through the trees. It was a brittle noise like... Oh no, Tom cried. The eggs are hatching. Cracks were all around him. The sound filled the jungle, only to be followed by a new noise. The low buzz of wings beating the air. As Tom watched, mesmerized lilac shards of eggshell fell to the ground, and hundreds of tiny insects burst into the air. Their wings blurred. The baby insects hovered like a dark smudge of cloud, writhing among the trees. Behind him, he heard Amictus trial with pleasure. Then the cloud swarmed forwards, encircling Tom before he had the chance to react. He felt the first sting as a baby insect sent out a tiny spiked leg to pierce his skin. More insects surrounded him, and Tom threw his hands above his head, crouching in the dirt as the noise of their buzzing filled his ears, and their spikes stabbed into his flesh. "Get away!" Tom cried, swatting the air desperately. He glimpsed Amictus moving through the cloud of insects. She swiped a limb at Tom's body and sent him crashing towards the bush where Elena was hiding. He landed with a thump, the air knocked out of him. For a moment it was impossible to breathe or call out. He heard Amictus give a cry of delight, and then the low buzz of insect wings as they bobbed in the air, scuddishing him. From her hiding place, he could see also Elena's eyes watching him. "My plan didn't work," Tom admitted to himself as he struggled to suck in a breath. But he wasn't about to give up. He climbed unsteadily to his feet, facing the cloud of mini beasts. "I will find a way. I will find a way." Well, that could have gone better. That could have gone better for Tom. But the eggs decided to hatch at that very moment. Well, I guess on, what is it, Thursday? Yeah. Next Thursday, I will be reading Jungle Duel, Chapter 7. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my read through Beast Quest. Amictus the Bugger Queen. And I also hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Why, Mario? Why are you stopping in the middle of the battle? Because the chapter ended in the middle of a battle. That's why. But it's the middle of the battle. We gotta keep reading. Well, wish I could. But this is the end of the chapter and the end of this video, so hope you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos and some great Dragon Book entries in the future. Ooh. Excuse me. Well, see you then. Bye-bye.